Is the lighting okay where I...
So this is an interview with Leah Clyne, which I'm really excited about, because Leah and I have actually known each other for quite a long time, but we've only actually met in person once, I think, wasn't it? Was it once on one of the workshops? So Leah, introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your profession? What do you do?
Okay, well, my name's Leah Clyne, and I am Pilates instructor, personal trainer, and personally, I'm a strength athlete.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Also
with those quads, you definitely are. If you haven't seen Leah's quads, I'm going to get her to give you her access to her social media pages. I thought I was Quadzilla, but you just sort of smashed it. So.
Oh no, I think the day I've got quads and hamstrings like Rachel France is the day I feel I've succeeded.
I think it's the hamstrings. For some reason, people always comment on the hamstrings, which is not so common, I think. So I don't know where I got those from. But how are you getting on with lockdown, Leah?
Okay. It was, as we all, a massive shock at the beginning, feeling numb and thinking, oh my gosh, what we're going to do. And then I started to introduce classes online to people for free, raising money for charity, to keep myself sane as well as others. I've actually found it a lot better as the weeks went by, finding myself doing things I wouldn't normally be doing, concentrating on other things like things to do with your courses and your workshops, Rachel. They've really helped me keep going. So I've found it very positive in some ways, learning, and I've spent a lot of time on the Gymwear website.
And I think that's probably common across the whole industry, right? Like, I mean, I was exactly the same. First 2 weeks, you're in panic mode, shock, numbness, denial, all of that. And then you kind of go, well, you know, I can't change it. The whole world's in this place. Let's just crack on. And I know that we've spoke quite a few times, you know, we've been in the trough, and now we're both kind of coming up that hill. Now that you're in a better place, like anybody watching this, is there like a top tip you might give them, just in general, in terms of coping with lockdown and sort of getting through to the other side? What's helped you massively?
Keeping moving, Rachel. I found myself for a few days sort of plastered in front of Netflix, mind blowed. So for me, I would say, you know, get some routine, get a little bit of routine, if it's only a couple of days a week, a little bit of routine, and get moving, whether it's walking, exercising, playing something in the garden with the kids, just anything to get moving. But as soon as your body becomes sort of static, everything, your mind changes. And I knew that because it changed my mind. I was feeling down, depressed. I thought, woman, get moving. So that's my tip. Just get moving, anything. Yeah. Just do something out there.
And I think you nail it on the head, same as me. I think it's that simplification of what, as exercise professionals, I've just been doing a video this morning, we think of gym and exercise, and it's taken away. You're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's like, well, you just move in the environment you've got. And it's quite simple. It's just not easy sometimes to kind of shift your thinking, isn't it? And you've got to have maybe more imagination when your clients haven't got the equipment, you know, using body weight and things like that. Don't you think? Is that the sort of thing you mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I haven't got a barbell personally. I don't have a barbell to use at home. Me and my little girl were walking in the woods, and we carried a log back that we hold and we use for front squats. I mean, I was inspired by you and your water jugs. Fantastic. Mine aren't as big as yours, but I've got these carriers. I'm doing stuff carrying, you know, things like that. I've also been playing a bit of football with my little girl, which I'm useless at, but that was keeping me moving. You know, and people have messaged and said, how do you get that motivation? And if I could put in a bottle, tip motivation in the bottle and give it to somebody, I would love to. But it's hard. You've just got to push yourself and get out there.
I love that image of you carrying a log back. I just think that is the epitome of what we should be doing. And do you know what? I'm not sure it's just in lockdown either. I hope, and I'm going to ask my next question really is kind of going into the future, you know, should we be encouraging them to carry a log back instead of the gym? What's the future of our industry, do you think, coming out of lockdown? Is it going to be the same or forever changed?
Oh, right. That's a difficult question, only because a lot of us are missing that gym environment. I miss that in gym environment personally. I know a lot of my clients do. But carrying that log back from the woods, which was quite a walk, it was such an achievement. And me and my daughter were like, we've just carried that back from the woods. And we've been doing a few little workouts, trying to do pull-ups on tree branches and things like that. And for me, going forward, I'd like to see more of that. I would love to see more of that. I mean, I've been to see a client today, and she's got half a piece of wood that she's a tree cut off, and she's picking it up and running with it. And I think I'd like to see that. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. I can't answer that question. Personally, I want to encourage it.
But that's down to us, isn't it? You know, like as a movement professional, there's a huge demographic of PT potential clients that don't go to a gym, or intimidated by a gym, can't afford a gym, don't feel they're fit enough to go to the gym. You know, those kind of things they tell us. And yet actually going to the woods and carrying a bit of wood in their mind might seem more accessible. So is that not our job to show them that?
Yeah, definitely. I would certainly agree with that. I mean, I do speak to people that come online. I'm so glad you're doing this online, Leah. I can't go to the gym because I feel like everybody's looking at me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the gym. I'm uncomfortable with this. Brilliant. So there's an opening for people to carry on training online if they don't want to go back to the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it opens our scope, and the fact we're being forced, aren't we, into thinking of new ways of moving, training, being strong and robust. So do you predict then that there is still going to be a need for personal training, maybe both in the gyms, but also there's more scope now for personal trainers like yourself to do things from home? Would you carry on doing the online after?
100%, yes. I think there's a massive scope for this to carry on, and it'd be nice to see us all getting a bit more creative and passing that on to clients. Another example of a client, someone's dropping off a giant tractor tyre in a garden, so she's going to start flipping a tractor tyre. I mean, she's quite imaginative as it is, but for her to go and do that, she wouldn't do that normally because she'd be in the gym. So I'd love to see more of it. I think it's fantastic. You know, gym memberships, we get tied into them. Some people never go because they're embarrassed. But then when you've got somebody like ourselves online, right, starting the class, 20 minutes, see you there, get your logs ready, get your tyres ready, you know, things like that, yeah.
Leah's log workout, yeah. I love it. So I have seen that you've been hitting the news. You're quite well known, aren't you? So just tell us a little bit about that. You know, don't hold back, don't be modest. I think it's phenomenal that when the nation has gone into lockdown, we're all afraid of paying bills. And what do? You give it all to charity, right? Do you want to tell viewers about that sort of your news?
The charity side started with the classes, and instead of charging people for the classes, I decided to raise money for a local charity called Home Start Manchester, which helps vulnerable families. Yeah. And that clicked with me because I'm on my own with children. I could easily be in that category of a vulnerable family. And people were worrying about money, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, let's do some classes, let's get people doing stuff, let's get people moving. But instead of asking them to pay me, let's raise money for the charity. And then as it did, it gave me time to concentrate on the online gym wear, and more people were buying the gym wear, and I donate a small profit of my small amount of the profit to the charity as well. That's going to be an up and coming sort of link to the charity. And the company helping me, which the women's organisation, decided to do a case study, and then the local paper took hold of the story and put me on the front page. And it was like, I was really sort of overwhelmed by it. I walked into the shop, oh, that lady in the paper. My face was bright red. I wanted to just be swallowed up into the floor. But you know, it's not national paper, it's a local paper, but, you know, I'm really, really over the moon by it. I never expected it. I did it because I wanted to, not because I wanted anything from it. I just wanted to help.
Yeah.
I'm used to helping people, and the lockdown put me in a situation where I wasn't helping anybody.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from, was just from the heart. I wanted to help.
And inadvertently, while you didn't do it for commercial gain, what you've gained from that as a byproduct is exposure to all the people locally, knowing that you're a giver in terms of, you know, you care about your community, you're raising charity, you're a fitness instructor, you're a personal trainer, and you sell, you know, amazing gym wear, which we'll talk about in a moment. So inadvertently, by having integrity about what you do and just wanting to do that commercially, that's obviously been a good thing because you've got the exposure.
Most definitely. I didn't expect the amount of gym wear I'd be posting. Lots of people are buying it. You know, look good, feel good, work out at home. You know, that's the kind of motto, and train to stay sane and things. You know, I really didn't expect it. It was bumbling along and I was working hard at it, and I thought, this has got to do something. But the lockdown situation has given me time to concentrate on it. And the sales, I'm not saying they've gone through the roof, but, you know, I'm really, really happy with how well it's doing right now at this moment.
Yeah. And I do think, because they're obviously, you don't do a men's line, do you? It is females, right?
At this moment, yeah, just females for now.
But females at home who maybe do have a little bit of cash or do want to train at home, or they're new to exercise, they haven't got any clothing, it's a perfect opportunity to get the feel-good factor from buying some clothing. And I've got mine on, so I'm just going to show my electric blue leggings.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So, and I've got my mint green ones, which are in a really nice fabric. So where can they find, because do you want to tell them your clothing line name and website, and then anybody watching this can nip and have a look?
Okay, I will do. It's simply V Gymwear, and the website is vgymwear, www.vgymwear.com. That's where they can find me, or they can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, vgymwear. You'll find me. If you need any help with sizing, I keep a personal touch as well. I do talk to people. It's not just a computer they're talking to. I do try and help people get the right size for them as well.
Yeah, and they are squat proof, and they have a nice high waist. So if you like the high waists, great for your muffin tops. Hold your muffin tops in. So we know each other from the industry because you did one of our face-to-face workshops, and then since lockdown, you've done some of our online training, and obviously you're now booked onto the diploma as and when we can get back to that. How has it benefited? Hi, daughter.
Okay.
How do you feel it's benefited you? You know, in what sort of way, and maybe you personally and your business, by accessing some of our education? I think it was the introduction to the Intrinsic Biomechanics workshop, wasn't it? And then I Move Freely Online.
Yeah, I did the biomechanics, the workshop, spine, pelvis, spine and shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, Rachel, it was like magic. I was overwhelmed by it because I don't know if you remember, but I have dysfunction in the right pelvic, right side, and we did the 4-side test, and then after the test and holding the hand on the knee, 20%, 20 seconds, I couldn't believe that the pelvis moved. It was like, that's a magic trick. So that really inspired me, and I've really kept feeling interested in the biomechanics. As you know, I've always wanted to do the diploma. And then when I did the I Move Freely workshop online with you, I've slowly introduced little bits into my classes. And I don't know if we want to go there yet about sort of testimonials of clients. Shall I carry on with that?
Yeah.
People are getting in touch with me saying, what have you done? I'm like, oh no, what have I done? My back feels better. My squats are better. I can get lower. I'm moving better. My shoulder pain stops. My neck's not as tight. And it's like, right, brilliant, magic. And, you know, there's probably 20, 30 messages that have come through over the past few weeks about how people are feeling after doing the little introductions to the I Move Freely. So I'm looking forward to going forward with that and becoming a instructor, so I can out there and say I am a I Move Freely instructor. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
And what was your experience in terms of, because obviously, I mean, we were predominantly face to face, the actual education side, how did you find sort of doing some of our content online? Was that a good experience? Do you prefer the classroom, you know, or how did you feel? Because you obviously had the experience of our face to face, but then you did I Move Freely online.
Personal preference, I prefer face to face.
Yeah.
I'll always prefer that, but the way the I Move Freely was delivered online, I found was just as good. It was brilliant. You know, there was other people there as well, so it felt a bit like that classroom environment. But I enjoyed it. It was great to follow. It was easy to follow. There's the recordings afterwards. There was a little bit of physical stuff going on. We were actually doing some hands-on stuff as well. So, you know, I found it easy to follow and go for it. Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. And so I feel like you are the epitome of a lot of group fitness, personal trainers out there in the industry who maybe, you know, you generally want to help people. You're a single mum, you know, you're looking after kids and everything, and yet you've got a clothing line, you're doing personal training, you're doing classes online, you're raising money for charity. You know, do you feel like, do you feel successful, or do you measure success in a different way? Do you know what I mean? Because to me, you look like a successful businesswoman.
To be fair, it's a really tricky question, because I never feel I've got enough. And I don't mean materialistic things. I mean, I always feel there's something else I can do. There's something more I can learn. There's somewhere else I can be. I don't think I'll ever feel I've got that top level of success. Maybe that will change as time goes on. But I just always want more. I'm always hungry for more things, learn more stuff. That's why I love to watch a lot of the things that you do. And so maybe I don't feel successful.
I just think it's interesting that I talk to a lot of people in the industry and how they are perceived from the outside, and then how they perceive themselves. And I think I'm guilty in some ways of that kind of, you know, you feel like a fraud sometimes. It's just me in my front room with my little skeleton, and you do a few classes because you love it, and yet some people perceive us as these kind of like, you know, it's almost like, have I got to keep up appearances and pretend to be something that I'm not sure that's me. And I feel there's like a synergy between us in that sense of, you know, we are business women, we are running a business, we are self-employed or employed by our companies, you know, and a multifaceted business. And yet there's that sort of integrity and honesty and humbleness that I feel about you that I think is a quality. I think that's probably why people are drawn to you. But I think for other female personal trainers, fitness instructors watching this, but also people who might end up being your clients, or they're looking for somebody like you in their area, I think that's the sort of person that either as a trainer they want to be, or as a client they want to go and see. So how many classes are you doing at the moment? Can people access those right now? Are they private? Are they public? What are you doing right now?
I'm only doing 6 classes a week in the morning. At the moment, I haven't had a lot of call for the evening classes just yet. So I'm going to do it in stages. They can find me on Facebook on Leah Happy Bodies,
yeah,
if they want to get involved, because they are private classes on Zoom. So they will be being recorded. There's the option to watch recorded. There's the option to do them live with me. Yeah. So if people do want the evening, they can always look at the recorded class later on in the evening. They just have to get in touch with me and let me know what they want to do.
And what's the best way to get in touch with you? Is it through your Facebook page or an email? What's the best way?
The Facebook page is always better to get in touch with me. So if they look for, or even directly on Facebook, if they look for Leah Clyne, it's better to message me direct Facebook rather than going to the page, because the page is private to protect everybody in the group, as in, you know, the privacy of them doing the training, unless you've been invited to that page. So if they look for Leah Clyne, give me a quick message and we can go from there.
And they can then subscribe to gain your advice, get discounts from your clothing, all that stuff is kind of, they would access through you through the Facebook page. Brilliant.
Of course, yeah.
What, do you read books? Because I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to books. I'm imagining with your routine and your family and everything else, do you get much time for books?
Not at the moment. I find physically having a book in my hand difficult. I do it sometimes, but what I prefer is audio.
Yeah.
Because I can do an audio while I'm doing something else. I can have an audio book on while I'm making the evening meal and washing the dishes. Or if I sit and read a book, I find I'm sitting still, I'm wriggling and I'm uncomfortable. So the answer is yes, but not a physical book. I have got lots of books up there actually on Pilates and other things and anatomy, but I'd rather listen audio.
Yeah. I'm exactly the same. So what would be your number one book recommendation or audible book? What's your favourite?
Oh, Rachel, I do feel like a fraud right now because I don't have one. I don't have an audio book.
What's your latest? What was the last one you read?
The last book that I read was actually, I can't remember the name of it. It was a fantasy story.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it was to take me away from. It wasn't a educational book. It was just a book about a man that lived for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind. I'm a bit of a fantasy kind of girl to escape. I like the fantasy side.
I like thrillers and murder mystery, but I like my favourite is true crime, and I'm similar. Sometimes I'll come away from, because I do try to absorb so much information. I think sometimes you just need time away to absorb it and process it, particularly business books or technical books. So mine is more like true crime and the grisly. There was a brilliant one by. She was a forensic anthropologist called Sue Black, and it was called All That Remains, and she describes doing autopsies on bodies, and I mean it was just quite grim, but it was fascinating, and talking about the crimes and how a criminal might chop a body up, which is, so that's what I do. I do read the odd novel as well. Okay, so we can find you on Leah Clyne Happy Bodies.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram.
Vegan Wear Official.
Amazing. And there's some great photos on there as well of Leah's clothing. And then you're running morning classes for people to access you, and they can come and find you and either subscribe or drop in. Anything else you want to share about what you do or about being a PT under the current sort of lockdown? Any other sort of thoughts or ideas on it for where we are right now?
Well, yeah, what I would like to share, if other personal trainers are out there listening, is, I have had a few of them messaging saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, I can't work. And I've said, look, just put yourself out there, outdoor training. It reminds a bit of rain. Let's go for it. And they're nervous about it. Similar to the conversation we had about going online, about how you've mentored me. I've passed a little bit of that information on to others, only a little bit, just to help them, give them a helping hand. And that feeling of dread of what am I going to do? But I personally, in the past 2 weeks, picked up 4 new clients. Personal training, one-to-one clients in the gardens, at their houses, and a massive learning curve for me is don't downsell yourself. You've got to put yourself out there for what you're worth, and what you've done, and all the training you've done to become who you are, to deliver what you deliver to that client. So, know your self-worth. I've learned that in the past few weeks massively. So that's a little tip for personal trainers out there. Get out there, just do it, give it a go.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I know I keep saying it, I have so much respect for you as an industry professional, that I think, if people can come and watch you, even if personal trainers come and watch what you do, that's how you do it, in my opinion. But it's been fantastic to have you on. I can't wait to see you when we get back to face-to-face, and we're going to be doing the Biomechanics Coach Diploma together. But that's really kind of you to come on. Keep doing what you're doing, Leah. I think it's fantastic. And thanks for my leggings.
Oh, no, thanks for having me, Rachel. I look forward to seeing you face to face again. That'd be brilliant.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.